Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Had somebody comment on yesterday's video that they were a little concerned. Let me reach over here. They were a little concerned that they were 2 minutes into the video and they hadn't seen me take my medication yet. I think they were concerned about my health. You see, I still have this little cough. So I'm making sure that I don't want anybody to worry. I want to make sure that everybody knows I'm taking my medication diligently. I generally have about one a day for my health and enjoyment. One more before I start. Yesterday's started off by me talking about something that happened in the morning, and this one is too. This morning, I got up, and during my first cup of coffee, while I was checking emails and such as that, I got a text from a friend. Most of you out there, if you know him, and you should, know him as Zombie Farmer. And he texted and he says, you've been thinking about putting up this video. He's been giving it some thought, and because he wasn't quite sure whether he should or not. And I said, well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And within about a half an hour, there it was. And I watched it. And you should too. Now, I know that last night I talked about a couple of, excuse me, I'll do this for you. I talked about a couple of websites, or I'm sorry, not websites, channels. And I promise I'm not going to turn this into, talking about other people's channels every night, but this is worth it. I watched it. And it was exceptional. It was excellent. Before I talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to put the link to his video down here and the information probably above my books and things like that. And I guess I should say that I have questions about where can I buy your books. The information is down in the information down there. As is Patreon and things like that. And welcome to all of you new subscribers. I know I should have had this in order, but this is the way that I do things. Welcome to all you new subscribers. Good to have you. Hope you enjoy it. Learn something from it. Be nice to each other and contribute. Okay, now back to Zombie. It was excellent. And after you're done with this, I hope if you haven't seen it, you'll go over and watch it. To tell you a little bit about Zombie, he lives a ways from me. Used to be a truck driver. Changed his career. Is now in law enforcement. Has taken an entirely different path in life. Has done it for the excellent reasons. And when you're in law enforcement, you learn about things that other people don't. And you would be surprised if you have not been in law enforcement. You would be surprised what the people in law enforcement know and find out about and can find out about if they want to. And so his eyes have been opened even more than they already were, and they were open. They were open. He had a good understanding of what was going on in this world, and now he's able to see it from a little more of the inside, which gives him tremendous perspective. He lives on a beautiful place in a state different from mine. He is a guy who has put years and years and years into his preparedness. It is a lifestyle that came down through his family. And he has continued on the family businesses. He has a beautiful farm, cattle and horses, and all of the things that most people would want on their preparedness home site. So this is a man who knows of what he speaks. He puts his money, not just his money, but his time and his mind and his heart where his mouth is. Okay, he doesn't just talk the game, he lives it. So I'm just giving you that because I don't think he's given that perspective on himself very much, at least not in that concise area. Well, I had been thinking about doing a video about kind of how everything is coming together. The more I thought about it, I realized the scope is almost beyond the ability for anybody to contain within a single video. And I have to be honest, other people do this much better than I do. My wife Kelly would do it much better than I do because we think differently. I don't have the kind of mind that can remember the details of all the stupid, ridiculous, crooked, asinine, immoral, wackadoo things that all these people in politics do. I just don't remember. I read about them. I keep up with the news, although I don't immerse myself in the news. I skim the top so that I know if anything big is happening, and because I know what I'm getting ready for. I'm getting ready for an entire collapse. But once I've read it, I pretty much let those things go through the sift of my mind, and they get out. I don't want them cluttering my mind. Other people are better at retaining that information than I am, and a zombie is one of those. So when I watched Zombie's video this morning, I realized he did that much better than I would have. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, not on this one, but I am going to talk about kind of what I expect to happen and then what we need to do about it. But when I watched Zombies, I said, okay, that was it. He nailed it. He did it far better than I would have, and everybody should see this. And so that's really my main point of making this one tonight, is to tell you about it and to put the link to his video down there so that you all can watch it. It is difficult to keep up with all the idiocy that's going on. And I use the word idiocy simply because I think they're a bunch of idiots. They're more than that. And the term idiot, it doesn't do justice to the pure evil that's in these people. They know what they're doing. They're trying to destroy our country, doing a heck of a job at it. And the result is going to be horrible if they are successful. Now, I have my own ideas as to whether they're going to be successful or how successful they're going to be, which I'll do in a separate one, not this. But it's easy to feel overwhelmed because every day it's something new. Or I shouldn't even say that. Every day it's several somethings new. There's more corruption that you can keep up with. There is more destruction of our Constitution than you can keep up with. There are more instances of just flat out socialistic, communistic attempts on the part of so many people. They're flooding our country and society with so many problems that it seems as if it would almost be impossible to address all of them, let alone solve all of them. You know, we've seen this before, though. We saw it during Clinton, and we saw it during Obama. That there were so many attacks on what our country stands for. There were so many attacks on our Constitution. There were so many attacks against the family. There were so many attacks against religion. There were so many attacks against our God-given rights. So many attacks against simple reason that it was impossible to keep up with them. You just got tired. You were overburdened. You couldn't remember them all well enough, at least I can't. to form a cogent sentence or paragraph to describe exactly what was going on. And I know that that's part of their plan. If you're familiar with what is that, Clower and Pivens, is that it? See, it's been years since I read about it. To where they overload, they want to destroy the system by overloading the system and bringing about the collapse of the system. Well, it's kind of what they do. And I loved it at the end of the Obama administration when they said, we haven't had a single scandal. And half of our country actually believes that. When they hear this, we have such an uninformed, uneducated, or should I say miseducated population now, that they can say pretty much whatever they want to, and half of this country is going to believe it. And you know the old saying that it's easier to fool someone than to convince someone that they've been fooled. Okay? When you have a fool who's been fooled, it's almost impossible to convince him that he's been fooled or that he's a fool, right? It takes a certain amount of intelligence to even be able to think something through, and I think that more and more people are lacking that ability. Anyway, we have problems coming our way that I think are larger than we've ever had before. Are they insurmountable? They could be. They could be, as far as I'm concerned. And we come out of the other end of this stuff looking very, very different from how we even do now, let alone 40 years ago, and let alone how this country was supposed to look and how it was put together. But I guess that we'll leave that for another time. The thing I hope that you'll watch Zombies. I hope that you'll think about it, talk to your friends about it, and consider how you can prepare yourself to deal with this. What are your feelings? How do you feel you should prepare yourself to do this, or to deal with this? Think about that. Talk about it. As always, for any new people, I do ask that there are nothing in the comments that would, nothing that's offensive to other commenters, certainly, but nothing that implies any kind of violence or anything like that. I've said in the past, and I believe it. I think I've got the smartest bunch of commenters on YouTube, and when you're intelligent, you're able to make your point without making it in a way that gets anybody in trouble, if you know what I mean, right? So I'll leave it at that for now. But we are headed into some real difficult times, and I think they're coming pretty soon. And whatever you have been doing, unless you are at the apex of preparedness, unless there is nothing else you can possibly do to become more prepared, I would suggest that you redouble your efforts over the next few months, but just start now and keep on going, because I think we're going to need those. We're going to need those preparations in the not too distant future. So think about it. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments, because other people will learn from you also. Go watch Zombie, and remember what I always say, that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and the key word there is well. There's no reason to let a bunch of people who have dedicated themselves to tearing this country down to negatively affect the lives of people who have dedicated their lives to building this country and their families up. Okay? We can't let it happen. We can't let them win, but we're in for a fight, and we got to fight it. So you all have a good night. Let me let you witness me taking one more dose of my medicine. And I'll finish this in private. You all have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow. Give it some thought. Do everything you can to get ready. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.